Just tune in to Uncultured, the podcast, with your host, Jeremy Zion. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Uncultured, and we back again in the middle of a pandemic. Times don't change, and as you can see, we now visual. You know what I'm saying? I don't opened it up, and we now visual, and it's a new day. So along with the visuals, let's give a hand from my beautiful guest, Lauren
I'm
Nicole.
supposed to clap for myself.
You can clap for yourself. We'll add clap.
myself.
There's claps everywhere. You know what I'm saying? How you been, Lo?
I'm great.
What's been good with you?
I'm good.
I hear that. I hear that.
Finished school, so I'm
Exactly. How is that? College grad.
I feel free.
You feel free?
I feel like I can do whatever I want now.
Yeah, like kind of you got the world at your hands.
Yeah, like I can just go wherever I want. I don't have to be on like a semester or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that.
I think that's a young people thing, though. Like, I really do feel like that's a young people thing. Like, when you young, you just feel so invincible. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like age is not one of the traits that you thinking about at the time.
Your worries, that's what it is.
Yeah, you more thinking about like getting old. And you most of the time, you young want to be old. You know what I'm saying? So,
I feel like that's why everyone says like their 20s is their best decade.
Yeah.
Because it's like in your 20s, you're not worried about how much time you're wasting, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when you're older, you're like, I wasted time on this, or I wasted time on that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in the moment, you're like, well, I'm only 20, so let me just do this. Like, if it doesn't work out, I still have time.
Yeah.
And then as you get older, it's like, you feel like you have less time, so.
That's true. That's true. And that's just the figgity facts of it. That's the figgity facts of it. But COVID-19 is a real thing. I've been gone from podcasting. I miss you guys, honestly. That's why I'm obviously back. And I had to just rethink, you know what I mean? And I had to add the visuals, you know what I mean? We're taking it a step further. And I know that y'all been going along with the same things as me right now. We all seeing this COVID-19 situation. And honestly, all I can say is, you know what I mean, episodes prior, that's what this is for. You know what I mean? We're going to get into those facts. We're going to get into those things of what can we do? Okay, COVID-19 is a thing, yes, but where's the solution at? You know what I mean? Let's get to the resolution, the solution, and how resolution, you know what I mean? And like, focus on what is it that we need and not the things that we want in that case. And when I say the things that we want, as in, yeah, like growing up, it's easy to just stop by McDonald's. It's easy to pull in, you know what I mean? It's a drive-through. And getting so used to that, it's not what it is, you know what I mean? We need that strong immune system. I pray for all you. I hope everybody is well, you know what I mean? And stay safe from that COVID. So anyways, we're going to dive into the episode, you know. This isn't a very much rambling show. We get to the point. So today, I want to talk about something. And we've had a little bit of this conversation. We've had a little bit we touched on this conversation before. Ugh, need water. I should have got water.
Should I grab you a water?
That would be appreciated. It's my show, but you being a beautiful, nice person, I appreciate that. Because this ain't it as well. Got to keep on your water. Notice how I'm not hydrating with Sprite nor Coke. We're hydrating with some agua. You know what I'm saying? The brand is on it. Shouts out Niagara. I don't really care about the brand, Johns, you know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. This is what I'm drinking.
As you try to peel it off.
Yeah, low key, but I was like, nah, I don't really need to. So, let's get into it. Conditional love versus unconditional love.
Of course.
I want to know, first of all, let's start off with, what's your definition of conditional love? What do you feel conditional love would be?
I mean, I think conditional love is just like loving someone for what they do for you and just only that. like, what do they do for you? What do they do for you? All the time. It's just like take. And I think like if you give someone conditional love, it's like, well, let's say you're a child and it's like, okay, well, if you get straight A's and you were like this perfect, child that just goes to school and does what you're supposed to do, you never get in trouble, then I love you. But the second you start messing up or making mistakes, it's like all hell breaks loose. I don't know. I think
that's true.
That's what I would say.
That's true. I would agree with conditional love being a bargain. I believe like conditional love is a bargained relationship. Like we have to trade this in order for this love to keep going, so called, or this feeling. For the relationship to continue, the relationship is pointless if there is not that valuable item that is being traded. I see. So I would definitely agree. So what would you define unconditional love as?
I love you no matter what. As simple as that. Like, I love you unconditionally.
That's facts. So then
no
it's
matter
like
what you do, it's like I still have love for you. So.
So with that being said, notice how like that's something that I feel like everybody's heard, conditional love and unconditional love. And like a lot of people only say unconditional love, but then the conditional love is kind of in the dark corners. But because nobody wants to admit what a conditional love relationship. To say something is a conditional love relationship.
I don't think people acknowledge it. Like, if you are someone who only loves people on your conditions, you're probably not aware that you're doing that. That's just how you are, like, as a person. Until someone brings it to your attention, and then you may be like, oh shit, I am doing that. Or you might be like in denial and say you're not, but
and I feel like that's a line to cross. So I feel like I understand that now times is definitely changing, and I definitely feel like with quarantine going on, it gave people a lot of ample time to just dive and think about themselves. And when we think about social distancing, it's like there was a lot of people that was very jittery, and it was like it's the fiend to go to. Like we are in North Carolina, so we got a phase 2, and it's like passing by, it's like restaurants are already full, people dining in, you know what I'm saying? It's just going straight back to it. And at the same time, when you think about it, how many people have actually like really checked up on you besides quarantine? You know what I mean? Those people that you may interact with when it comes to those day-to-day life. But I feel like another source of conditional love is the environment that you may love that person in. So, like, for example, the people that may be in a college or a university, and had to separate from their friends, whatever, if you're not keeping conversation up with that friend, or it's not like y'all checking in, even having second thoughts about each other, then that's a conditional love relationship that it's like, you should draw that line, like
in that situation.
Exactly, you love them in that situation, that environment, that specific environment. It's like you here, but it's like when we apart, it's like I wish the best for you, but trust me, I have no mental real estate for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's okay to admit, and I feel like coming back to understand that it's like let's not put so much emphasis on the unconditional. Oh, I unconditionally love this person. I unconditionally love this person. Because saying things is easier than proceeding with action. You know what I mean? And there's some people that it's like you learn their words carry weight to it. And it's like, okay, like, nah, this person, when they say something, I listen because they're vibrating from their own honesty. So it's like I can actually feel what they're saying. It's not I have to think about what they saying. I gotta, you know what I'm saying, think about it in 10 different ways. But that's a part of, if that's coming from a good communicator. And I believe that in order to improve communication, let's just be honest about those things. So like for you, for an example, do you feel like you have any, like just graduating college, like even just making that step, do you feel as though a lot of like those college people like continue on with you that deep, or is it an instant just fall off?
It's an instant fall off. And I mean, I can't say that for everyone because obviously everyone has different experiences, but at least for me, that's pretty much how it's been. And I would say that's why I like summers, like summer breaks, you know, throughout school growing up, no matter what grade, like you always had summer break in between each. And it's like that always was a big determining factor of like who is coming back the next year as friends. Because, you know, like, stuff would happen over summer, and everyone would be excited, like, oh, my God, did you hear so-and-so aren't friends anymore? And it's, like, this big drama. And I feel like going into, I guess, quote, adult world that we so call it after college, it's, like, I'm going to miss that aspect because it's, like, you can get caught up in your day-to-day life as an adult, like, working a 9 to 5, whatever it is that you're doing, and you just kind of get grouped within the same people. And let's say, like, you don't move jobs often or whatnot, so you're with the same people for years, and you may never get that, like, summer break to see if these are, like, genuine friends or if y'all are just, like, fast friends because of where you're at. But I definitely, like, leaving school, it was just, I don't know, in a way, I didn't expect to talk to that many people that much just because it's, like, I think whenever in life, when you're moving on to, like, your next phase and people that you know are still kind of in your old phase, it's hard to like have things to relate on, you know, because like let's say we do keep up those friendships, like talking every day. The things we're talking about is like we're not, you know, they're talking about parties and like what they're gonna do every weekend, you know, and I might be talking about like I'm planning trips to go to different countries, like you never know, you know. So it's like that difference.
So then it's like, will we say that identifier of conditional love is limited conversation? Because then if that's the case, because it's like, okay, so we got this person, you know, I have conditional, we always hang out in this environment. When we in this environment, things flow, we having this conversation, that conversation. But that's usually like I want to understand if you all relate, if y'all limit around we have these specific types of conversations and it doesn't go anywhere outside of those. But notice that these are the same people that it's like you may not talk to every day. You talk to every here and there or only when you're meeting in that specific environment. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure.
That's wild. So then, okay, so enough about conditional love. So unconditional love. You know, we'll throw some polar opposites. I feel like unconditional love, either way, conversation, when it comes to conversation, I believe you're actually trying to learn that person and like become knowledgeable about someone, and not even just on the simple fact of just remembering what they like, but also remembering or beginning to understand and know what they may have used to like. You know what I mean? Because there's a difference, you know what I mean? There's always that friend where it's like, there's a difference between somebody saying like, even if somebody changed their favorite color, they had a different color every other 5 years. It's like being that one that's like, oh no, you've lately been saying that this is your favorite color. Like, I know that this is your favorite color. Because you're paying attention to that person. I feel like paying avid attention.
Understanding them.
Exactly.
Like
and
it's
then
actually going somewhere, like in your brain, and it's committing to memory. Like you care.
Yeah.
That's what it goes down to. Like if you care about something, you're gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
That's why it's like even in school, different classes, like you don't have to study as much for one class because you actually care about this class. So you're listening to it and you're actually like understanding what is being said, and you're like, oh, okay, I got this. And then you go to the classes you hate and you can't remember anything, and you're just like, why? I'm like, I get A's in all my other classes, what's going on? But it's like you just don't care about this, so you're not hearing it. Like you have to study more and whatever.
Simple.
So
Like, cause it's like I feel like there's definitely people that can relate to times in classes where the sub conversation would be more interesting and more people in that class may be retaining that side sub conversation rather than the main subject lesson that teacher may have been teaching. So that's a clear indicator that if somebody doesn't like the information, they're not going to want to retain it. They're not going to have an urge to pay attention. And in those moments, they may also be more anxious. They're either anxious to leave the class, anxious to leave, anxious for them to move on to the next subject, or anxious just for the whole day to be over. You know what I mean? Because it's sitting somewhere where it's like the information is not cared to be retained in that matter. And I think that's something that's some human stuff. But yeah, unconditional love, so it is very much knowing, as well as how much I feel like that unconditional love is that person you can literally go to and just whatever it is. Mm-hmm. 'Cause I feel like nothing is a secret at all. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's why therapy is real. Therapy is real. Like being able to, there's a difference between fighting with yourself, between an event that may have occurred or feelings that you may be feeling inside yourself. That has to come in anyways. You're going to have to get that done yourself. It's work. Mm-hmm. But being able to vocalize it and externalize those factors is what makes therapy work. Because now you're like really release. Your words is not just words. You're not just, you shouldn't be lazy with your words. In a sense of your words is a vibrations that you're sending off. So it's like, it's healing. It can be very healing. I don't care what you got to, if you got to go outside and scream, that's why they say go scream. Go do what you got to do. If you need to put your head in the pillow and scream and let it out, feel that, free that so you can let it go. And other than vibrations, there's other ways that you can act out feelings that may need to be acted out within yourself. So if verbalizing isn't your thing, maybe something physical. You may be interested in some type of sport that you can mentally focus in because you're having the art of motion within your body and you're releasing it through your body. That's another way. And you know what I mean? If that's not where it's at, then the creative brain, go to your mind. You know what I'm saying? Open the creative side, open the project side. And maybe that might be your stress reliever. Maybe you might have a creative way of expressing yourself. That's why it's like even with that's how I started this podcast, with the first few episodes that are streaming on Spotify and Apple Music as well, and Google Podcasts, Spreaker as well. Check it out, you know what I'm saying, if you just want to listen. But that's why I definitely started the first few episodes, was because I go through real therapies. Me being like a Cancer, I like kind of like, she makes fun of me about that sometimes. Gosh. But it's the fact of like, I can, like something that may seem like a little moment to something that may have to be like something that may be a little moment to somebody else. I view it as like I'm whole life learning all these things, and I'm sitting here like, wow, like, and I'm sitting there feeling in the moment, and it's just you like, have to feel why do you have to do that? Like, it just looks like it's taking so much time up. Like, she thinks it's a waste of time to do that, right? But
it's not even that. It's just that you have to feel every little thing. Like, I'm just like, some things should just be passed over. Like, let it go. Like, I just feel like you'll get stuck on minute things and feel like that might change your emotions for 2 days. Like, something small. But you're, like, reading into it. Like, your mind is, like, going into all these different, like, paths about this one little thing. And so you're just, like, moody and quiet for 2 days. And I'm just, like, nothing happened. Like,
no, but that's the thing.
3 days ago, we were perfectly fine and happy. So can we, like, get back to
No, it's that? Like nothing happened to her, though. It's like, it's nothing that happened to her. It's how I understand that I need to handle my situation. and what works best for me.
Well, I guess I should say I'm an Aquarius, so they can understand like
exactly,
the
and then that's where it's like she's able
it's very
to.
Opposite.
She's able to. She'll take things personally, but at the same time, once again, we like because I feel everything. I have very much open conversations about everything, so it's gonna like if there's a time that I'm feeling something, we kind of get to that conversation and we work on understanding. You know what I'm saying? Once again, that's the unconditional love factor of it.
If y'all look up Aquarius and Cancer compatibility, it's not great.
No, it's one of those. No, it's not. Great. No, we're not even gonna say that.
Every single website says they are not compatible.
It's a situation
like,
where
I think it is compatible, but like it goes to unconditional love. If you have that like real love, then even if every website says y'all are not compatible, y'all are still gonna be compatible because y'all just have unconditional love.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Zodiacs, like I understand people getting into astrology and metaphysics and all this.
No, we're not gonna hate on.
I'm not. No, hold on. No, because I didn't say that. Hold on, wait. You didn't let me finish. Just let me finish. I'm a strong. Yes, I understand. What I'm saying is, don't let it be the end all be all though, because at the end of the day, that person is still a person that has lived out their own life. You know what I mean? They've had certain events occur. It's more like just take that time because you never know. You really don't. And
I think zodiacs are like, they're good for telling you how you may act, or like if you want to know more about yourself and like certain traits that you have. Yeah. You can go and look towards that for information, but when it comes towards like compatibility and things like that, it's like you'll see people dodge relationships or situations just because that person is a certain sign. Yeah. And be like, nah, like, I don't mess with Virgos. And it's like, you just said goodbye to your soulmate because they were Virgo. Like, maybe sometimes that's something to learn from being two people that, you know, the internet says are not compatible. But it's like, we've taught each other so much and we've learned so much from one another that I feel like us, even if, like, we are considered not compatible, it's like, it works because of that. Because if we were exactly the same, we would not learn as much as we do now.
I agree. I mean, I'll wrap it up to say, like, I don't believe unconditional love can be stopped in a way. I believe conditional love has like a meter break on it. There's at some point either the tank all the way full or it's all the way empty. You know what I mean? But unconditional love, it's like, it's running off of a different, it doesn't have a unit of measurement, you know. I believe that that's the view of it at the end of it. So anyways, going on from unconditional love and being conditionally loved, like, let's think about the fact that over in quarantine, you know, viewing social media, I believe OnlyFans has become so popular. OnlyFans is going crazy.
Follow me on OnlyFans.
It's going wild. But I want to ask this: is it really bad, or is it like? Because I'm seeing girls even post certain pictures that I don't usually see. You know what I mean? And I'm not only then, but certain people just posting much more like seductive things that they usually don't enter in. So
are we talking about just the general or people that have OnlyFans that are doing
we can go both because it's all like general. Still, it's still social media. I'm just gonna go in the atmosphere of social media. And so it's like,
I personally don't understand that part, like the posting seductive pictures now because we're in quarantine. Like, I've been seeing a lot of girls do this, and like we talked about this the other day, and I was like, what are you talking about? I don't see it. But as soon as he brought it up and I started noticing it, I was like, dang, like a lot of girls I follow have been posting pictures in like lingerie or just like stuff that they would not ever post before, and I don't know, I don't personally get it. I feel left out. I'm like, I missed the memo.
I think it's crazy because it's like, I think that now in this generation, it's been like a different type of dopamine strike from social media, like people getting off to the heart eye comments or the likes and the DMs and like all these people yearning for this person's attention. And I feel like it has this like anything, if it's not neutralized at any point and it's up either too far or too low, it's unbalanced. And so I like think there's a point now where especially within social media, feeling wanted for, and like I feel like a lot of people just want to be wanted, and they want to.
It's so weird, like to see, like I know girls that literally, like text their friends, go comment on my picture. Like they text them, go like my picture, go comment. Like I just posted, go comment, and it's like, why? Like I've gotten those texts, and I'm just like. Okay, like I'll go like and comment, but it's just like, why did you feel the need to text me that? Like I'm gonna go on social media eventually. Like if I see your picture, then I would feel enticed to like and comment. But I feel like it's so strange to literally ask another person to go give you a compliment. Like you wouldn't do that in real life. Like I wouldn't walk up to you or anyone and be like, "Hi, nice to meet you. Compliment me." Like.
Exactly. Or it's like or walking up and saying, hey, like me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Look
like
at me.
That's what
Look
I'm saying.
me.
Social
like,
media,
just...
like, and that's where to like ask that, it's like I feel it, or it's like it's cool to like, you know what I'm saying, throw stuff up, whatever, but to like yearn for it. Why? You know what I mean? If not in real life, like you're not gonna go up to somebody and ask them, look at my yeah, it's nice, ain't it? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's nice, ain't it? Like, and they didn't even acknowledge you. You know what I mean? They just walking by, and that's okay.
Or feel offended. If your friend doesn't comment on every single one of your pictures or like every single one of your pictures. Like, I've definitely peeped some people in my life that I've been friends with. It's like they want all of their friends to blow up their pictures as soon as they post it. Which is like, okay, if that's what you want, cool. But to then feel like you're offended at me because I maybe didn't go do that. You know, like maybe I saw your picture and I liked it and I just didn't feel like commenting because I just didn't feel it.
Yeah.
But then you get mad and it's just like, what is like? Is this a real life friendship or are we just social media friends?
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, it's like when you put these aspects into reality, how strange is that to be like, maybe we're meeting up for lunch and we hug, we sit down, and I'm like sitting here and I'm like, so you haven't told me I'm pretty yet. Like, you haven't told me I'm pretty yet, and we've been sitting here for 5 minutes, and it's like, it's the same thing when they post their picture's been up for an hour. You haven't commented on my picture yet. It's been up for an hour. Like,
yeah,
really, like that's what we're worried about now.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Instead of
asking me if I'm okay, if I haven't mental
different
breakdown
worries,
today.
different worries, yes. And like even like going to that, like feeling wanted. The conversation is kind of crazy. How it's like always a what do you do? Like, what is your whatever you do explains everything about you. And making it that. But then let's say, is it healthy for the people to say sternly, this is what I do, and only identify by doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like if okay, let's say, boom, NBA player. Okay, cool. But are they just an NBA player? Like as a whole human, as a whole spirit, as a being, are they just a basketball player?
Or not allowing them to be other things just because they're that one thing. Like if they like come out, like say there's a like famous NBA player and he comes out on Instagram and says that he actually is really interested in ballet and he's gonna start doing that. Everybody would clown him and be like, nah, like stick to basketball, just do that. That's the only thing you're good at. And it's like, if they made it that far to be in the NBA, why wouldn't they be able to, you know, do well in something else?
If they have that creative aspiration.
Like, right, if they want to go do that, it's like, instead of encouraging people to go outside their box, it's like we put everyone into a box and don't let them leave it.
Exactly. And letting somebody know that once you're in this box, it's locked. Like, this is who you are. You know what I mean? And I feel as though, like, when it comes to spectrums and all this other stuff, like, yes, it's true, because it's like this galaxy is so wide. Like, we only get that we are all, like, we're all here on one home. We're all on Earth here, you know? So it's not, there's no going away from that in that way. You know what I'm saying? As of now. You know, but there's also is a lot of ways of going away from that because of the fact that we are so wide. Like, when you're born into this world, you don't expect this. You know, you're here. You come here and we begin to, you know what I'm saying, become acquaintance with all this learning. You know what I mean? There's people that's indigenous people that's still in forest right now, like, that solely live off of that. Like, solely still, that's been that. Like, you bring an iPhone, it's like,
peace.
is that, and they living their life. You know what I'm saying? You bring an iPhone, they're gonna look, iPhone, what is this? But that's to admit that it's like, we haven't even done as much exploring as we think we have on our own home, and worrying about so much other things that we have not even done our best to make our own home a sustainable, clean home. You know what I mean? Or make it a lifeful place. It's already lifeful. You know what I mean? We life already breathed into more life. You know what I mean? That's all what it is. And so, anyway, like, coming from that, like, the fact that we all are a part of the collective, I feel like with social media, somebody always wants to let more have, like, it's a, yeah, everybody's collective, but I'm a major part of the collective. Or, like, I'm this big, you know what I'm saying, some big orb that's like, everybody wants that control. Like, because it's like, you think about even just the government. Like, it's like, everybody wants that control. To, like, be like, we are the ones that, this is right, this is wrong. You can't do this, you can do this. But it's like,
nah, don't say everybody, because it's like,
no, I'm not saying,
I don't feel that.
No, I know,
like
I'm not,
I
I'm
wanna
speaking on
control people. Like, I just think this world would be so much better if we just, like, let everyone do what they wanted to do. Like, I just don't think that laws and all that stuff are necessary. I really don't. Like, because when you think about it, that wasn't even a thing hundreds and thousands of years ago. Like, people just lived their lives. They may have lived in certain villages, and it's like, okay, if you want to group up and your group decides to place rules among each other, then y'all can follow that. But don't be mad if somebody from outside your group doesn't want to follow those rules, because it's like, they didn't agree to that. Y'all did. That's how it feels. It's like, being born, it's like you're born into this world, and it's just like, hold up, I don't agree with this. Like, who do I talk to?
Yeah.
But you don't have that choice.
But the thing is, the crazy thing is we do, though. And it's like, even looking at that, it's such a, you even think about the ocean. Because it's just, I want us to understand how minute of a piece that we play, but it's a bigger piece in our ecosystem as of now. Like, as the beings, the humans watching this, we're one ecosystem. You know what I mean? And as humans, I feel like we have not been on, we definitely been far from, we never, like, to be on one equate, we haven't been on that. But we're understanding the humans, we're an ecosystem. But then there's so much, like, the ocean is a whole nother world that's explained. It's like the reverse world of what we have. So imagine what communities and economy they got that, like, we don't know. So it's like, we just should focus on doing the best we can with each other while we're here, going back to unconditional love. You know, if there was to be no laws, I believe that there's a moral compass that's already innate, you know what I'm saying, in some, when it does come to religion or anything like that. And even if you're not religious, it's just, there's human nature laws. Like, there's stuff that you can't phase, you know what I mean? And it's like, there's a difference between doing something wrong with mistake and justifying a wrong that wasn't a mistake. You know, so it's like, if you can feel your wrongs, you know what I mean? And it's like, it shouldn't be something that you try to justify. You accept it, you know? and you let that live out. So, anyways, going from there, on that subject, I want to speak about, we was speaking earlier about the social media, the OnlyFans deal going on, everything like that. And then I want to know, can you keep that open? Can you keep that open? Can you open it back up? Appreciate it. Thank you. And so, to keep that up, this how what's been going on social media, the OnlyFans situation, all of that. I want to speak about this episode's spectacular vernacular. And this episode's spectacular vernacular.
Can we pause for a second?
We got, Oh yeah. And then and this, we teed. That's what we do. So anyways, and we're back. But this episode's spectacular vernacular is hypersexuality. You know what I mean? Because this is something that I understand we definitely been more trying to what would I say? Embrace. Everybody embracing sexualities is, you know what I'm saying, with the LGBTQ plus community being a big plus about sexuality, being like, you know, and coming out, all that other stuff. And as well as self-love being a form of sexuality, like kind of like, you know, people feeling as though, you know, their body shapes being sexual, all that. You know what I'm saying? It's just been, it's been a topic of conversation for a while. But is it healthy? I don't think so. I honestly don't honestly, look, this is where it's like, this is actually the wild part.
I was sitting there, I was like, do you want me to answer this?
Oh no, we know what you gonna say, but look, this is what hypersexuality. This is the definition of hypersexuality right here by our friend Google. An obsession with sexual thoughts, urges, or behaviors that may cause distress or that negatively affects health, job, or relationships.
Oh, okay. So I actually been thinking about this like personally lately, because I'm like, in quarantine, like you said, going back to everybody posting like seductive pictures and stuff like that.
Exactly.
It's the same thing when I go on Twitter and I just see all these tweets, like just sexual tweet after sexual tweet. And I'm like, so this is what we're talking about. Like, we've been stuck in the house for 3 months and people are not like we're not expanding our brains to anything else. You know, like we've had 3 months to literally sit on our ass and do nothing. And everyone's just talking about sex. So it's like, I don't think this is healthy. I would say that it's always been that way. Well, in like the past, I would say 50, 75 years.
Yes.
Since like media has become a huge thing.
Yes.
Media has always had a lot of sexual stuff.
Especially with how quick like, you can get the porn.
I was telling you, remember I was telling you the other day, there was like that video from like the early 2000s with Jay-Z and some guy, I think it was Jay-Z, but he was like sitting there and there was like girls just laid out like naked and he's just sitting there like having an interview. He's talking to the host and he's just like rubbing this girl's boob. And this was on TV. And I'm just like, okay, kids were watching that. Like, there was a kid watching that channel that day. Yeah. And was watching Jay-Z rub some girl's titty. Yeah. On live TV. Like, I think it's always kind of been this issue. I don't really see it ending anytime soon. Well, to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're talking about it right now, because there's steps in certain ways, you know what I'm saying? And I felt compelled to talk about it, and that's what we're getting into. So, I got a quote out of MayoClinic.org, and so I'm gonna read this. High school presentation. This is what it is. So this is the continuation of the definition that was presented. The definition that I gave was from MayoClinic.org as well. So, anyways, It says compulsive sexual behavior may involve a variety of commonly enjoyable sexual experience. Examples include masturbation, cybersex, multiple sexual partners, use of pornography, or paying for sex. When these sexual behaviors become a major focus in your life, are difficult to control, and are disruptive or harmful to you or others, they may be considered compulsive sexual behavior. So,
I think that's what Tiger Woods said he had. Remember when that scandal happened? It came out that he cheated on his wife with all these women. I think he came out and said that it wasn't his fault because he like had like a sex issue where he just like felt compelled. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's real. So it's like that's the thing, and it's like the people that's in more of a laughing mood about it, like, what? There's no such thing as hypersexual. I fuck all day. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You can stay on that side. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But it's the fact that now, let's take this to a spiritual note, that your sexual energy is expressed in other ways other than sex as well. Your sexual energy can be expressed through art. Your sexual energy can be expressed through working out. Your sexual energy can be fed by reading, by stimulating your brain, stimulating your nerves. Self-care, self-love, therapy. There's other ways that your sexual energy can be converted. Transmuted and converted. Like, so is it necessarily healthy for all of it? Because as we said, these examples with being a hypersexual person includes pornography or paying for sex. Now, with OnlyFans being a primary subject of quarantine,
y'all paying for sex.
You know what I mean? You're paying
but you're paying for pictures.
You're paying or videos. Paying for a picture, a video, whatever, for the solicit. You know what I mean? It's just rethink it. That's all I'm saying.
It's pathetic. It's honestly tragic. I feel embarrassed. I am ashamed. And I think that y'all need help.
And this is what I'm gonna say. And this is everybody.
That's my
we all
honest
need.
opinion.
That's the thing. We all need help. So we gotta help each other. You did what I'm saying.
I'm saying when it comes to that, yes.
Yeah, and that's
need help.
It's as I said, it's something that. Because as I said, as much as sexual.
Because the reason why they need help is because people are going on Instagram complaining that the picture or whatever they paid for was not what it was. So they're going on Instagram and like being like, well, I paid $35 for this.
Oh, if the girl's like, not completely nude or something?
Yeah, if they don't like the picture, if they don't like that they didn't see enough. And it's like, sir, you're mad at her because you didn't see enough, but like, did you take a second to look at yourself and think, why did I choose to spend $35 on a picture? Like, you should be mad at yourself, not the girl that's just collecting money because it's easy for her to do so because there's people like you.
Exactly. And it's like, and as I said, just as much as sexual energy can be transmuted, the most original form is obviously, yes, normal sexual behavior. That's the normal form, but we're just speaking on the hypersexualization of like that, the fact that is a factor, that it's okay to realize, oh, this really may be a problem. Like, we've made it a normal thing, but no, this is actually like a sicker problem than we think. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of issues within even the fact of like there's some places where it's like I wish it would be a safe space, but then even I would say it's like that okay when I think of like people with fantasies of like hurting people and shit, and I'm not talking about like choking and slapping and smacking all that other stuff, but I'm talking about like having sex and like murdering somebody. Like that type of stuff.
You think there should be a safe space?
No, I'm saying the fact that should be talked about as not okay because like those are videos that are on those sites. I'm saying like the fact that those fetishes are like fed for, like people make the content for that video. it's like
honestly,
it's a hard barrier because it's like, do we want that person to go see that and like get off to it and be like, ooh, and like waiting for a new video or whatever, and then people making this type of content?
No, I think Pornhub
like
is about to go down. If not in the near future, in the next few years, because there's so many lawsuits right now against Pornhub for posting people's rape videos. And after a while, it's like as stuff continues to build, you can't ignore it. So even if it takes 200,000 women to file a lawsuit against them, it'll still happen, and Pornhub will go down because it's like they're posting stuff. If you go on Pornhub right now, all they're gonna be like, why you if you go on Pornhub right now, there's just a bunch of videos about stepbrothers and just like incestual sex, and it's like this is what they're promoting. This is what they're putting on their front page. As soon as you go on, that's what you see is incest. So it's like they're putting that in people's minds that this is okay. And then someone may turn around and like hurt their sister because they were watching that and they thought that was okay.
Or even come on to her like in a different, like in a weird way. And
that's
like feel
what
like
I'm
that's
saying.
okay.
Like people, and it's like they may be a perfectly good person that would have never thought a day in their life that they would do that, but if you're watching these videos every single day, it starts to get in your mind. It starts to be in your dreams. It starts to be in your subconscious. So you think you're just gonna act on those feelings.
And trust me, I have, you know what I'm saying, did my deed to a fair share of videos. I have experienced, you know what I'm saying, we've all had, like, I trust and believe. But then there was also a time where I was just more like, no, like, this is just not what I'm doing no more, because of the fact that getting into meditation even taught a lot. Like, I certain things took a long time it takes a long time to learn. You got to get up day by day and better yourself. Get better and better and better. Whatever it is that you're doing, like, find something, acquire a new skill, whatever it is. And you just don't stop, because it's like, then your mind is not filling with all that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to think about none of that. It's not that deep. And then also when that feeling comes on, you get used to bypassing that and transmuting that into something else that may give you an even better feel. It's going to keep giving you that better feeling. You know what I'm saying? And then that love that you feel over yourself. Somebody doesn't have to come.
You'll get addicted to the improvement of yourself instead of being addicted to always having hypersexualized thoughts.
Yeah, because I feel like this hypersexualization is the yearning for validation by the next person. Like, especially in men, it's like the feeling, the need that I have to go buy these clothes, these shoes, gotta get the jewels on in order to attract this. When it's like, that's completely false. You know what I mean? It's the fact that, no, if you really like, there's a different feeling between spending money and accumulating like mass value of rare, genuine earth metals of gold, stone in your head. Like, it's different. It feels different because you can move more free. You know what I'm saying? To be okay and fulfilled with having the ability to maybe just step outside and see a tree, that's further than a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because it's like to get to a point that you realize that you will never be able to buy a fulfillment. You can't buy fulfillment. That's a you know what I'm saying, that's huge. Because it's like, once you realize you walk with your home. When they say home is where the heart is, it's everywhere that you go, exactly, everywhere that you go is home. And don't let nobody take that from you, because that's the matter of fact truth of it.
You can't leave your house because you are your house.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. You can have a $3 million house, but let's not get it confused where the home is at the end of the day.
If that $3 million house burns down, you just have yourself. Now what? Because you never got accustomed to yourself. You were just caught up in, your environment. I live in this nice place. And this is just like where I get my comfort. Mm-hmm. Once that house is gone and you have no more comfort because you didn't even have it within yourself.
Yeah, because once it's like, who are we to call homeless people homeless people? It's always homeless people, hobos, bums, all this other crackheads. Like, we got all the name. Well, crackheads, they on that shit. But because there's some crackheads that's living in a home, so let's not get it confused. You know what I'm saying? But the homeless people, like, just nah, for real, this. Yeah, but homeless people, like, who are we to say that? You know what I'm saying? It's just we look at them in such a different view. Like, if you're a person that don't have a house, then it's just you're not even a person.
What about indigenous people that live outside? That is their home.
Are we gonna
call them homeless? Because that's their home. That's where they live.
That's their home.
So
that they may have really built themselves from the ground up with raw materials. No machines. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who are we to call anybody homeless that's outside or on the street? That's their home. They can't go nowhere. They can't leave that body at that point. They can't leave that body. So who are we to say they're not home? You know what I'm saying? And that's just a part of, you know what I'm saying, think different. But anyway.
But somebody that is in a mansion could be homeless, for real.
Could be homeless. Empty. Got everything could ever ask for. Look good, don't it? But it's just facts. But anyways, going into that, a part of realizing your wrongs or realizing, taking in your own ignorance, because we all have the power to have ignorance. You know what I'm saying? But to be okay with that. To be yearning to learn more and heal that ignorance, a part of that is growing pains that you feel in your whole heart. And it's like, I want to speak on the fact that doesn't mean that you're going the wrong way, because you feel pains in your heart. Because you feel pain. Feel pain. It's not wrong. Because of the fact that in able to grow, you're going to be feeling those pains. But to get better, you know what I'm saying, those pains gonna rid, but you gotta acknowledge it first. You know what I mean? And I spoke on I was speaking the other day with someone about this, of just like the fact that even just being in America as a whole, we have our own issues. You know what I mean? Like, this is my home grounds because this was where I was born, but my family wasn't born here. You know what I mean? So they gave me a different outlook on a different world. You know what I'm saying? That looked different to me. But I was raised on these grounds, and it's like issues that I have to deal with. I had to admit that these are issues that we going through here because that's what I was raised around. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so in America itself, it's like it's been such a deep wound that it's only been covered with Band-Aids. And it's like you can either let it get infected, keep getting infected, and it's just going to die out by itself by force. Or it's like you can get to taking the steps to cure it. Not treat it. I'm not talking about treat it and lead it with a bone. I'm talking about cure. So things could be actually better. And a part of that, as I said, with them growing pains, you feel that. Because guess what? You're able to cure by growing. You know what I'm saying? Cure the old ignorance. Out with the old, in with the new. That's what it's about. It can't always be the old. And the only way you reach that is coming to the present. Don't think about yourself with these material possessions and feel like that's the ending moment. Because if you do, when you get that, there's nothing else to live for. So why make that your metric system to live by? So, anyways, this has been another episode of Uncultured. Lo, would you like to end that? I'm sorry. That's kind of the ending note. You've been a great guest. You're beautiful.
Thank you. You
have a man's?
I do.
Oh, okay. I was just checking. Just asking. Yeah, but yeah, so anyways. He's cute. You are wild. But how'd you enjoy the show?
I enjoyed it.
Good.
I'll be coming back.
Great. Shout out. What's your Instagram, YouTube? What you got? What's your social media pages?
My YouTube is Lauren Nicole, Loren. My Instagram is lauren.nicolex.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds solid. Well, thank you for being
Thank you.
a gorgeous first guest on Uncultured. Live well, be well. Out.
Bye, everybody.